Hello, everyone. I was asked to speak here today to report on incredible progress made in the fight for freedom. In October of 2019, I founded Shot Tech, LLC, with the mission to make education and training in and community defense maximally accessible with special outreach to minorities. I'm happy to report a new dawn in the firearms advocacy movement that can't be beat, and we are winning. In 1 year, I have personally trained near 3,000 civilians, but here's the best part. Most of these 3,000 never thought they would own a firearm, be their family and community's first responder, carry a firearm in public to defend their communities, advocate privately and publicly for others to get armed, get trained, and be ready. And many of the people I train were anti-gun. And I was having this success pre-COVID, and now many are 2A advocates. I am speaking on behalf of Jews for the preservation of firearms ownership, Firearms Owners Against Crime, as well as my startup Shot Tech LLC. I'm happy to report that for the first time ever, Jews and other at-risk minorities in large number are waking up, and we are embracing our 2A rights. We are joining the fight for freedom as well as people from all races, creeds, and religions. This community that's fighting for freedom recognizes you cannot have any self-determination without self-defense, and an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us. Look at what happened in Pittsburgh. There was one undefended location, and now they wanted all of us to be undefended. Because socialist tyrants have tried to disarm our schools, our houses of worship, and minority communities for decades with unjust laws like we see across the river in New Jersey, but also by instilling fear through cultural indoctrination. Other than socialist tyrants making places like Philadelphia, where I'm from, extremely dangerous, I'm going to tell you how I've made so much progress in minority communities that were previously anti-gun and how you can help this change. So I recognize some problems that we can solve. First, live-fire gun ranges are very loud. They are kind of the worst teaching environments ever. But with advanced simulation technology that's now available to all of us, you can teach people how to shoot at home. In my day, we started people off with .22 calibers. Now we start off with simulation equipment and dry fire. This ushers in a new era of advocacy. Second, I wanted training to be positive, always powering. No more doom and gloom training. Every client should end a session feeling empowered. Third, law enforcement cannot fight crime alone. It simply doesn't work. So I wanted a civilian training center where civilians and law enforcement could train together, where regular Janes and Joes could have access. But my fourth problem I learned the hard way. I wanted to start a Second Amendment storefront business that focused not on the gear, but on the culture, the training, the education, the recreation in Southeast Pennsylvania. I figured, Democrat or Republican, who could argue with education and simulation-based training? Well, I found out. Zoning officials crushed me. Because I had an outreach plan to minorities, they said things like, quote, "We have safety concerns about unknown third-party people. We're concerned about street people with street guns coming into our community." I responded with, "Well, aren't we all street people? Aren't all guns street guns?" I was naive. You can tell though. Of course, after speaking with my zoning attorney, he told me, "Grant, they mean, frankly, black people and other minorities." But I didn't have the money to fight City Hall and endless zoning hearings. So what did I do? I went mobile. Instead of having a storefront, we became a mobile business. We go to you. In people's living rooms, basements, garages, we set up a simulated gun range where people can learn in a consequence-free environment, and people love it. If you are missing with the simulated training gun, you are going to miss in real life, so why waste the time, money, and ammunition these days? Gun shows had no on-site education. We solved that by setting up a tent for young and old alike. When synagogues and churches turned me down for hosting events for their congregants because I was too controversial, I invited Jews and at-risk people into my home, and I said, "You can pay whatever you want, just show up." Every month we did this, and the results were fantastic. This represents a colossal shift in the 2A community and the movement. See, I've been a firearms instructor since I was 21, and I remember having a family with 2 violent stalkers in the police department saying they didn't have the, quote, appetite or the resources to pursue our protection or the criminal's prosecution. But we had our Second Amendment, and today this is all too common. Now, through private security, I protect people in a position, and I do it through Shot Tech LLC's mobile simulation training, followed by live fire training, so that victims can reclaim their security by learning and knowing they can defend themselves and their loved ones. I love what I do. Socialist tyrants won't tell you the truth, which is that police are second responders. The truth is you are your own first responder for your community and for yourselves and for your families. We want you to be an asset to police, not a liability, and we want you to back them up because they are your backup. Back our blue. What do socialist tyrants want to do with police? As security in Philly, I have personally seen them pay for tent cities that they won't evict, which makes our city extremely dangerous. They have failed to enforce so many laws pursuant to their liberal agenda. I have seen them put up people in hotels for $200 a night and make these poor hotels into taxpayer-funded dens for prostitution, drugs, and more. Needles are easy to find on the streets. I have seen them criminalize cops for defending our citizens and for defending monuments and for defending businesses. In Philadelphia, an armed gang came twice in 1 week, and when the gun store owner defended his business and shot one of those gang members dead, the mayor blamed the gun store owner. As long as I will live, I will never forget calling my boss when the Philly riots happened and say, "Hey, what are we protecting the synagogue and the area, the other area, the South Philly Target with?" I said, "Is it going to be a suit, earpiece, concealed carry firearm?" He goes, "Man, this is nothing like that." He goes, "Rifle, body armor, and a helmet if you got it." I'll never forget that. That week we saw multiple cop cars set on fire, 150 plus explosive events, and 50 plus ATM bombings. My local Judaica store was targeted, and now gun permits in Philly are being scheduled months into 2021. A year. See, Jews, especially like so many religious folks, have for far too long put their full faith and trust in the government for their protection, and where did that leave us? 11 dead in Pittsburgh synagogue for starters, dozen hacked to death near a rabbi's own home in Muncie, New York, and the list is endless and ageless. We are sick of saying it feels like 1935. We all know that the Holocaust started with gun control and ended with 12 million dissidents dead. Gun control has been tried. Socialism has been tried. Political correctness has been tried, and I'm here to tell you what you can tell everyone else. The debate is over. Each time we defer responsibility, the police are always 5 minutes away and 5 minutes too late. I'm proud to report that Jews and minorities and the silent majority are waking up. So here's your marching orders. After this, we're going to go in there, we're going to go talk to our reps, meet with our senators, and tell them that the debate over gun control is over and that there is no freedom without self-defense. The next generation is waking up, and when you go home, stop procrastinating with telling your friends you'll take them to the range. Instead, call them into your home and teach them in your home. Do that first, and then take them to the range. So it's the Jewish New Year. I wish you all a happy and healthy and blessed New Year, and may you and your family have all your blessings be granted, and let's make this year a year for freedom. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Grant for sharing with us today his success story with his business idea and business venture, and how he's advancing liberty through his business. It's a really encouraging story from a young man, and we appreciate him being willing to make the trip here today.